recording at a point where we were actually like chatting, so that it sounds like a natural way in. But now I have done the what we've said we didn't want to do, which is hit the record button and be like, right now speak. But it's all good. How are you, Selina?
I'm doing very well. How are you, Amelia?
Yeah, I'm doing very well.
Good.
I'm doing very well.
I had some very nice bagels for my breakfast.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
We had breakfast together. Yeah, it was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A little sleepover.
Mm-hmm. What a nice start to the day.
A good start to the day. Yeah. It's not a very nice day today, but you're bringing the sunshine. So.
Yeah, it's grey outside, but sunny in here.
Exactly. Well, I'm just going to kick off.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of the Manchester Indie Theatre podcast with me, Amelia. I'm actually going solo today, guys, as the lovely Caroline Lamb has been on holiday for a well-deserved rest after her off-cut win. But of course, I'm not alone because I'm joined by a fabulous guest, a very talented actor, writer, producer and burlesque performer, Selina Helliwell. And I can't wait to introduce you to her properly, but before we get started, as always, I'm going to kick off the episode with our What's On in Manchester. So first of all, now we're at the end of July, I just want to say a huge congratulations to all the incredible artists who have been part of the Greater Manchester Fringe Festival this year. We had the pleasure of speaking to a number of those talented people right here at MITPod, so I'm wishing you all the success with your shows moving forward. The first show I want to give a shout out to is Ferocious Cabaret, presented by the House of Panther, which is going to be on at home on the 27th of August. And this is going to be an evening of burlesque and drag and circus performance. And it sounds like a really fun cabaret, which I know my special guest will have a lot to share about that because she is also a host of a very popular Manchester cabaret, which we will get onto. Ferocious Cabaret is a fierce pre-Pride celebration showcasing the incredible talent of Manchester's queer cabaret scene, featuring artists from the House of Panther, Act Development Course, alongside acclaimed industry professionals and special guest performers. This electrifying production platforms emerging talent while celebrating the diversity, creativity and self-expression at the heart of cabaret culture. Audiences can expect a vibrant evening of burlesque, boylesque, drag and circus performance with acts ranging from seductive and theatrical to bold, high energy and unapologetically queer. Ferocious Cabaret champions artistic development, community and inclusivity, highlighting the next generation of performers being nurtured through House of Panther's commitment to accessible cabaret training and professional development. This project is led by Cleo Panther, a Manchester-born and raised burlesque performer who has been voted the #1 burlesque performer in the UK, #3 burlesque performer worldwide, and has performed alongside internationally recognised artists including Cardi B and Fat Man Scoop. This sounds really, really exciting. So good luck to the House of Panther with their Ferocious Cabaret that will be coming to home on the 27th of August. The next show I wanted to give a shout out to is called Bad Habits by No More Dramas Productions, written by Stu Mevans and directed by Dale Vicker and Stu Mevans, and this will be on from the 31st of July to the 9th of August at the King's Arms. So there's still another week or so left to catch this show, guys. I really love how the opening line on the synopsis for this is "Amen, bitch." Like, it really sets the vibe here. So for this show, audiences will be transported to St. Magdalene's, a convent where the communal wine is Waitrose essentials, choir rehearsals are TikTok boot camps, and the Mother Superior has a direct line to the local gin distillery. But the sanctuary is under siege. When the sisters learn of a divine mandate to flip the holy ground into luxury retail space, in a bid to save their home, this ragtag band of sisters must trade their prayer books for a rebellion. Bad Habits is a high-octane, unapologetically zany farce that explores the collision between ancient tradition and modern corporate greed. Beyond the slapstick and the satire, it's a fierce celebration of the importance of chosen family. So whether they're dodging internet scams, choreographing contouring for Christ workshops, or staging a Charlie's Angels style resistance, these women prove that faith isn't found in a dusty book. It's found in the sisters standing next to you. So expect pop diva hymns, combat poses, and a lot of holy chaos. That sounds really great. I'm very excited for that. And that is Bad Habits by No More Dramas Productions. And that'll be on at the King's Arms from the 31st of July to the 9th of August. So now we've done our What's On in Manchester, I'm very excited to now introduce my very special guest, Selina Helliwell. Selina Helliwell is an award-winning Manchester-based writer, producer and performer. With acting credits spanning the Royal Exchange, Soho Theatre and Waterside Arts Centre, Selina is the creative powerhouse behind the acclaimed UK touring solo show The Formidable Lizzie Boone, which was a Manchester Fringe Award winner. And she is the creator, producer and featured performer of Manchester's fiercely popular sellout feminist cabaret, Ember and the Vixens. Selina also directed my play Picking and is a brilliant director and all-round human. So yeah, one of my favourite people. Selina, welcome to the pod.
Oh, thank you. Feelings mutual.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited to speak to you because, you know, we have so many great guests who come on who are polymaths, as we like to call them. They do a bit of everything. They produce, they write, they perform. They wear all of the hats and, you know, they really apply themselves to bring their creative work to the stage. So I'd be really interested to hear all about your journey because you're a theatre maker and you started off, you know, creating your own fringe shows and then you ventured into burlesque and cabaret. And what made you first decide that you wanted to venture into the creative industry?
I think because there was nothing else I was really passionate about, or literally everything that I was ever interested in from like a teenager was in the creative world, you know, whether it be writing or performing in some way. Everything that I really, you know, lit the fire in my belly that like set my imagination alight was either consuming art or making art. From as long as I can remember, to be honest. So I had a great love for both writing and acting, and I chose to do my BA in creative and professional writing. Then, whilst I was doing that, I was like, oh, I really miss performing actually. So I ended up saving up and then going back to drama school and doing my master's in professional acting. And then, combined the two, like wrote my own play, which I then performed in and produced as well. That was the first one was called Burnout, and that was a cast of 7. But then also, I did my one woman show as well, which toured around the UK.
That was great. And that is actually how I first met you. Was at your one woman show.
Yeah, you came and stalked me at the doors.
I did. I think at that point, it was towards the end of 2021. I had just recovered from COVID. I'd been in isolation for 2 weeks. I hadn't seen any other humans. I had no interaction with the outside world. And, you know, when I finally was able to be integrated back into society, a mutual friend of ours actually, in the end, told me about this one woman show and said, oh, you really need to come and watch this. So I was like, yeah, of course. Yeah, that sounds great. I love one woman shows. And so this was at the Anthony Burgess, and I was stood outside actually just before I was about to go in. And then there was a group of people across the road that saw me and were like waving and being like, hey, hi. And I was like, who are these people? And when they got closer, they realised that I actually wasn't you because they'd mistaken us for each other. So anyone who knows Selina and I are very good friends. And when we stood together, I think you can see there's a little bit of a similarity.
We favour each other from a distance, definitely.
Like it's kind of the reddish hair, I think, that tends to get us to be likened to each other.
I think we've got a few of the same mannerisms as well.
We are very similar, I do feel. And the more time we spend together as well, I feel like we just
morphing into one.
But I remember watching your show and then just being in awe because, again, I just have so much respect for anyone who, you know, gets up and performs their own work and is so vulnerable on stage. And I'd always been really interested in writing a show, like a one-person show, and exploring that. But at that time, I just didn't even know where to start with it. So I remember coming in up to you at the end and asking you for a bit of advice about it. And that was the first time that we ever spoke and had a bit of a chat. And then I think after that, we just bumped into each other at different things, didn't we? Until eventually we were like, well, I think the world wants us to be friends. So
Yeah.
I feel like we should be
So
friends.
yeah, it's just got to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't fight this anymore.
We can't fight this feeling anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. I remember being really impressed by just you as a performer, and you were so magnetic on stage as well, and you just seeing how you kind of incorporated kind of your burlesque routine into there as well, because you are also a burlesque performer, which I'm very excited to hear all about that.
Yeah.
Because I do think it'd be really great for you to share with the listeners about your popular cabaret that you do, because you do multiple cabarets throughout the year, sometimes with Ember and the Vixens.
That's right. Yeah, I do. And we've got one coming up actually. Ember and the Vixens is going to be on over Bank Holiday weekend next month in August. Sunday the 30th of August, it'll be on at the King's Arms, and that's a really special one because anyone who's been to an Ember and the Vixens before knows that it's very female focused, female empowering. It's all about taking back the female gaze, like rejecting the male gaze basically, and like just being just empowering women to be who they are, and owning the stage, taking the spotlight, and talking about like important serious issues as well, but also there's like comedy and light and humor in every show, and there's always like a mix of variety acts. There's like usually like singers, circus, burlesque, and poets.
Yeah.
So yeah, for this next cabaret, I've collaborated with Independent Choices, domestic abuse and violence charity, which a very good friend of mine actually works for.
Yes, yes. So a very, very wonderful charity that does amazing work for survivors of domestic abuse. And Selina's cabaret will be raising funds for this charity. So they do great work to help people. And I think that this is like the perfect sort of show to really do that, because it is all about celebrating women and empowering women.
Yeah, 100%. And 100% of the profits will be going to the charity. Like it's all completely to raise money for Independent Choices. And the lovely host of this podcast, Amelia, will be making her Vixen debut at the cabaret as well. If you weren't already convinced to come along, I think that's definitely going to make you want to come.
Yeah, you know, I might read a little piece of mine out.
You might do. You never know.
Yeah, because I think I've been an audience member at many Ember and the Vixens cabarets, and I did also have the pleasure one time of being a stage kitten, you call them.
Very glamorous stage kitten you were as well.
Yeah, so I had the pleasure of being able to pick up everyone's bras and lingerie after their performances, and then sort of arrange the sets for the next performer, which was actually so much fun. And I really enjoyed it. And obviously, you know, you asked me to help out in any way with these shows, and I'm always like, yeah, absolutely.
I remember you were so thrilled. You were like, oh my gosh, I get to wear a sparkly dress and pick up bras. Like, living the dream.
What a night. Yeah. It was just, it is always such a good energy in the room. It's, as Selina says, a celebration of women and the talent as well, that there's such a variety on display at your cabarets, because you have musicians, spoken word artists, burlesque performers. So there's always a bit of everything. And I know you've had these cabarets at different venues around Manchester, including, you know, the King's Arms, the Art Gallery.
Did a few at Grub as well, so there was quite a lot at Cultplex, which I don't know if it's under the Grub umbrella anymore. I don't think it is, but that we did quite a few there, and then we did at Grub's other event space, Fairfield Social Club.
Yeah.
But the King's Arms was our first venue that we did an Ember and the Vixens at, so it's like we're going home for this one.
Yeah. I can't remember the very first one I went to now, but I know I've just been to so many, and it's always been just I've just been right there in the front row, like, yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Like, it's always so good. Our friend Jas Nisic, who is also an incredible producer and musician, hosts the cabarets a lot as well, and they are just hilarious,
Yeah.
and just know exactly kind of how to channel the energy in the room. Yeah, the three of us actually became really good friends off the back of, well, cabaret really, because I remember, so when I met you, we then actually bumped into each other again at Jazz's one person cabaret show,
Yeah. Yeah.
as part of the Manchester Fringe. I think that was 2022,
Yeah.
was it?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, so, and then I think we just all bonded over just our love of, the creative arts, and just, we were all writers and we were all creatives, and we just bonded after that, and I think that was it. And then
Yeah, and we all worked together on Picking as well on your
yes,
one woman show, so that was really good.
yes, so it was, yeah, Picking was such a great experience. When we did that for the Manchester Fringe in 2024, I that was the first time I'd done a 1 hour play of my own, just me on stage, and we did it at the back of the Gulliver's pub, and I think it was a really good experience because I had the pleasure of being able to work with two really good friends, and we could sort of learn together. And obviously Selina had experience of touring a one woman show and producing one and doing all of that, and then Jas also had lots of experience, so I felt like I was learning a lot from them, because it can be difficult, I think, when you are having to wear all the hats. So I was quite lucky in that situation, that I was able to have that support. But when you were doing your own one woman show, Selina, I know you had a director that worked with you.
I did. The amazing Hannah Heaton, who's an incredible director. Yeah.
In terms of like finding venues to put your show on at and marketing, etc., did you take the lead on that, would
Yeah.
you say?
Yeah, I self-produced the Formidable Lizzie Boone. So it would have been way too much if I'd self-directed as well. I was like, I'm not that crazy. I've written it myself. I'm performing it myself. I'm producing it myself. I'm gonna have to get someone else to direct it. Like,
Yeah.
you can't do everything. And I was so grateful that I found Hannah, because she was incredible and she made the show ultimately what it was. But the producing is, there's a lot more to it than I think a lot of people realise. Like, I'll say I'm producing, whether it was the Formidable Lizzie Boone at the time, or Burnout before that, or any other shows that I've done. I did like a digital online piece of theatre during COVID, called Fruit Salad. Or whether it's the cabarets, I'll say, I've got a lot of admin to do. I've got loads of like things to do. I'm gonna have to like spend like 10 hours on my laptop and get all this stuff done. And people are always like, what do you mean? Because they kind of come to a show and they don't really think about everything that goes into making the show happen.
Yeah.
But it is so much admin. There's so much like, reaching out to venues, sorting out things like the poster, marketing, PR, and communications. There's a lot of like logistics. Like, if you've got circus performers in the cabaret, you have to think about like health and safety and like risk assessment and all kind of things
Yeah,
like that.
absolutely.
There's just so much that you have to think about, and collaborating with whoever your technician is, making sure they know what's going on and you've given them a good like tech scripts and all that kind of thing. I've probably forgotten loads of other things that I have to do, like running order, even things like that.
Yeah.
There's always so much more than you think.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Lizzie Boone, that was 100% self-produced. So that kind of just escalated from doing it at the Manchester Fringe to then doing it in London, and then Brighton Fringe and Buxton Fringe, and just, yeah, like collaborating and connecting with different venues, and ended up doing quite a pretty decent tour of that
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
So
you did, definitely. Because I do remember when you traveled, you took your show kind of all over the UK.
mm-hmm.
And I can imagine that there is a lot of work that has to go into making that happen. Um, and have you sort of did you start producing quite because I know you went to drama school. So once you left drama school and you began creating your own work and looking to put that on, did you start producing from quite early on in your career then?
Yeah, actually, just before I went to drama school. So the August before I went to drama school was when Burnout was on. So I had written Burnout in like the year before I got into drama school. And I just, that summer, I was like, I just want to put this play on. Like, I'm really proud of it and I want it to be seen. And I guess what to make that happen, I'm going to have to just do it myself. And, I held auditions, I cast it myself, I got all the rehearsal spaces sorted myself, like, organize the rehearsals. Obviously, again, connected with a director. It was not me that directed it. It was Lee Ward the first time. That was on in 2018. And yeah, so I self-produced that myself, and it was only an hour, maybe just less than an hour piece at that point. So it was on for a few nights over Manchester Pride. And then after I graduated from drama school, I put it on again at the King's Arms. And that was like a full length piece with an interval and stuff. I'd like developed it further. During the time I was at drama school, I don't know how or when I found the time, to be honest. That the time
Yeah.
I was doing my masters at drama school is kind of a blur. But I guess in any like spare time I had, I was working on Burnout because I was insane at the time and
And
just
that's quite ironic as well.
burn myself out whilst writing Burnout. Yeah.
But I think though, it goes to show how committed you were to making this a career for yourself. You really wanted to put your name out there and to get your work out there. And even though you were at drama school, and which I know is very demanding, the
Yeah.
schedule, you were still thinking ahead of what do I want to do after this finishes?
Yeah.
What's the bigger picture here? What kind of artist do I want to be?
Hmm.
And I think you've always been someone that does like to create your own work, make that happen. You make those opportunities happen for yourself,
Yeah.
which I think is a really great skill. Like if you're able to, if you love performing, but you're also able to write your own show and put your own show on. I mean, that is such a skill. Like it's so good to be able to do that because then you have that freedom to be able to sort of continue to keep making this body of work.
Yeah, of course. And it's really, really exhausting. It's really draining. And like I did reach with the cabarets, especially because I would say there's more in the production side, in the producing to like put on a cabaret than there is a play, maybe. Or maybe it's just the fact that there was one year a couple of years ago where I did like 8 cabarets in one year, and I really, really burnt myself out doing that with like producing them myself and performing in them myself. And I loved it, I was doing it for the love of it. But it got to a point where last year I was like, I'm not doing any cabarets unless I get funding.
Hmm.
And so I applied for Arts Council funding to do 2 cabarets, and I got the funding, which was amazing. So I did put on the 2 cabarets, and like again with like this year I was like, okay, I want to put on a cabaret because it's for charity and it's for a good cause, and it's a cause I really believe in and feel very strongly about. So I think I like the producing side for me now is going to be more like picking and choosing the things that I really want to do rather than just throwing my all at it, because you can really burn yourself out, as I as I know from first-hand experience. Yeah, found out the hard way.
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked quite a lot on this podcast about the importance of looking after yourself
Yeah.
as a creative and prioritizing your well-being, above all, because you do have to look out for yourself, and you only have a limited amount of time and energy that you can invest in your projects. And obviously I do think we all have that excitement and that motivation, and we want to be working on the next thing and the next thing, but it's good to be able to know, okay, how much can I actually realistically manage this year,
Hmm.
with everything else I have going on in my life as well. And there is no pressure just because someone is doing XYZ. There's no pressure that you also have to compare yourself and meet that standard. Like you just have to do what's right for you.
Yeah, 100%.
And everyone has got their own journey, as cheesy as that sounds. Everyone has got their own ambition and what they want to do. And sometimes it's okay to take that step back as well, to have a think about what that looks like for you. with your drama school experience,
Mm-hmm.
you say that you were trying to create your own work outside of the drama school schedule. How did you find the experience of drama school? Did you feel it like prepared you to create your own work in the future? Do you feel like you had a lot of tools, like useful tools that they gave you to become, an actor and a producer?
Um, I would say it was an amazing experience in a lot of ways because even when, I don't speak for everyone who went to drama school, but I feel like most people who went to drama school, there's at least one module or one like section of time within your drama school experience that you absolutely hate. Like you're really not enjoying, whether it's the play you're doing or the style of directing you're doing or whatever. Even when you're doing that, you're still being creative in some way. You're still performing. You're still doing what you love. So it is an amazing experience for that.
Yeah.
And it gives you the opportunity to work with a lot of different directors and like feel your way around the industry in that kind of way, like to work out what works for you and things like that. When it comes to like producing your own work, I think there's nothing taught me more than just doing it. Like there were, they got a lot of the drama school I went to got a lot of like industry professionals to come in and talk to us and give presentations or like tell us about their experiences and stuff, and that is really helpful. But I don't think that taught me as much as just producing my own work.
Yeah.
Like just actually being in it and doing that.
Just learning through trial and error and just
Yeah.
experiencing it yourself. And yeah.
Drama school is like so hard. It is really, really tough. But I'm grateful that I went. I don't regret going. Yeah.
I think it's just always interesting to hear different people's perspectives, because we did have the wonderful Kitty Ball who came on, and we were talking a lot about the education for young actors, the education system, and going to drama school, and how to help young actors, I guess, learn to navigate the grey areas of acting, in the sense of there's not necessarily a right or wrong way of doing something. That's when I guess there can be that stress in an education in a learning kind of environment, that there is a right and wrong answer to performance, to how you should approach a role, to how you should approach creating a piece, and it's being able, I guess, to find your unique voice outside of
Sure.
that, especially when you're so young. I mean, I myself haven't gone to drama school, but it's always interesting to hear what people's experiences were like, and kind of how did they feel that drama school supported them, or what they feel they took kind of from their own experiences outside of drama school, if that
And
makes sense.
I think it definitely helped me be more resilient. And what I would say is that if the reason you want to go to drama school is because you think it will just be a year of fun and you think you'll just have a full year of acting and that sounds amazing and that's like you're doing it because you want to have such a good time, which is kind of the reason that I wanted to go. It didn't quite work out that way for me because there's a lot more to it than just being able to do your passion for a year. And I think if there are other reasons you want to go, and you want it on your CV, you want it on your spotlight, and there are certain directors you want to work with, or there's a certain style of acting you want to learn, a certain directing style, anything like that, then 100% like go for it. But I think just like my mindset would have been very different had I known what I was getting myself in for, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that you can't ever know, can you? And I think it's quite an intensive environment. It's Monday to Friday, 9 to
Yes,
5.
Monday to Friday. I think it was 9 to 5 or 9:30, 5:30, something like that. But then you always get in earlier to do like a warm up, and then you're always later to do rehearsals, or there might be like an extra like lecture or whatever in the evening, or a talk by an industry professional in the evening. And then you might, if you're doing like a scene study or whatever, you might be in at the weekend as well for an extra rehearsal. So it is a lot.
It's
like,
a commitment.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's really helpful, like I say, like to learn a lot of different practitioners and different styles and things like that. But yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm just like shitting on drama school.
No, I think it's always interesting because I think most people I do speak to have quite a neutral opinion on it.
Sure, yeah.
You know, some people have had a really great experience. Some people say they didn't enjoy it. And then, or there's sort of people in the middle that say, you know, if you want to do it, go and do it. I'm not going to say it's, you know, it can be very valuable. Just for the experience and what you learn about yourself as a person, if nothing else, I suppose. You know.
And you know,
But
I've been in auditions as well where like the person auditioning me went to the same drama school, and that's always like, oh, we went to the same drama school. How did you find it? It's always like a fun conversation kind of thing. And did you know such and such? Did you do this? And like the people that went to the same drama school as me but graduated like years and years before, they'll tell me something that used to happen, you know, when back in the day, and it's like, oh, interesting. They didn't do that anymore. Like,
yeah. Yeah, and we've talked a bit about the funding side before as well, of, you know, that it might be that people are not sure about whether to go because of the or they physically can't, you know,
oh yeah,
because of the, you know, having the means to go. I think you have to be really sure about it, and you have to be able to sort of figure out kind of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. If my sister lives in London, and like, you know, very wonderful of her, she let me live with her for that year. If she didn't, there's no way I would have been able to afford to go.
Yeah, and it is a shame that that is the
Yeah,
way it is, isn't it? That
it is.
because I don't think I know. I mean, knowing kind of how much it costs to go and the expense, it just isn't a viable option for quite a lot of people, which is a shame. But there are different options, I guess, in terms of like applications for scholarships and things. But like, there's, yeah, I mean, I never got as far as even figuring out kind of all of that side of things or how I would get the money, because I think when I did think about going, um, I didn't, I guess I maybe wasn't 100% sure, because maybe if I had been 100% sure, I might have really spent kind of a year thinking about how I could make it possible if it was possible. But I know that people really do struggle, and struggle while they're there to make ends meet as well. So, you know, I feel that it's there's a lot of, everyone's going to have their own opinion on it, and everyone's going to have their own thoughts on and whether that's something that they wanted to do, or whether they, yeah. But I think it's always interesting to get people's experiences, and for anyone listening who might be interested in going, it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts as well, if anyone has any thoughts on drama school, or kind of what their experiences at drama school, any advice for anyone who might want to go, or kind of any avenues people took to make that more accessible for them. That's always useful information to share, I think. But then moving on from drama school, post drama school, did you move straight back to Manchester after
No,
drama
yeah,
school?
I moved straight back. So I was just there for a year, just over a year, doing my masters.
Yeah.
And then I moved back. Yeah.
You are from Bury. You're from Manchester.
Grew up between Bury and Prestwich. Yeah.
Did you do kind of acting from like a young age? Were you always interested in performing arts before, and did you feel there were a lot of opportunities for you growing up to pursue that in Manchester, and or did you kind of find that a bit later on?
Like there was a lot of like, I was able to do it as a hobby from a really young age, from when I was in primary school, maybe like year 1 or 2. I was doing like drama classes at the weekend outside of school. I did dance classes as well, and like anytime there was any sort of like theatre or like drama thing in primary school, I was always loving it, always like getting involved. And then in high school, like I was able to take it as a GCSE drama. What I think is a shame, I don't know if it's still the same now, but when I was choosing my GCSEs, I had to choose between dance and drama, and then just didn't then do dance again for years and years and years. It was only like a couple of years ago that I did a small dance course in Manchester for a few months, and it was really nice to be able to get back into it. But I do think sometimes I wish I'd been able to do both. But you know, you have like one art option, and you choose like history or geography or whatever it was at the time. So yeah, I chose drama, which was, you know, it's one of the great loves of my life is acting, but it would have been nice to have been able to do dance as well. But yeah, I think to do it as a hobby, there was always loads going on. To do it as a career, that was a bit more of a wild
Mm.
choice. I think my mum is still hoping I'll change my mind and become an electrician. I think every now and then she'll be like, "Hey, there is a discounted course to become an electrician, Selina." But can't blame her. Electrician is a good job.
Oh yeah, it does. It does. It pays well. I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's when you're a creative and you know that that's what you want to do,
Hmm.
and it's making a career out of that, and actually like finding, because I think to a lot of people it can seem like a really unstable career path, because it is like
It
it
is,
is,
yeah.
and especially to parents, I think sometimes that I know that my parents were really lovely about and supportive about me wanting to be, even though they're not actors themselves or interested in acting themselves. You know, I know they've always supported me in what I want to do, but at the same time, I think it does, in people's minds. It's like, well, how are you going to make money from this? Like, what are you going to do? Until you get that break? I guess they're thinking, well,
Hmm.
you know, you need to have this stable job, though. I think for me, well, we actually both did creative writing for our undergrad.
Hmm.
And I think writing was actually what I explored first, and being able to find a love for writing and develop that skill, I think was important for me, because when I left uni, and I always knew I wanted to get into the creative arts, but was and when I immediately left uni, I really needed a job, and then I was looking at options, and I found copywriting as an option for me, because I just thought, what else can I actually do right now? Like, I feel like I've got an
Sure.
English and creative writing degree. What jobs should I go for? Oh, I'll
Yeah.
be a content writer. And it was a good job because I was getting to do something that I enjoyed. Like, I always liked writing, even though it was a different kind of writing than maybe the one that I would have really wanted to do. But I was
Hmm.
learning kind of how to develop as a writer, and I was
Sure.
practicing that skill every day, which was useful for me. So I guess it can be handy if you do whatever you do as your other job, you know, to support yourself. If you find something that you're passionate about and that you're interested in. I know not everyone. I think sometimes people do whatever they can, you know, to support their work, which is absolutely fair. I think everyone has their own different journeys, don't they, and what they choose to do. Some people kind of they're an actor slash something completely random, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, but for me, that was always, yeah. I ventured into copywriting, and then that was that really. But and then kind of into the marketing side of things after that, which I think has helped me understand a bit more about marketing in the arts and marketing a show, because that's all really important information. So it does complement this creative world. But
Yeah.
it's tough, isn't it? Because what do you do when you're a creative wanting to make money from what you do, because that is your passion, that's what you love, that's what you want to do, and what you want to do with your life. But then you're at a point where you can't finance that. You don't have the money at the moment to actually live off that. Like, how, you know, what do you do to kind of support yourself in the meantime? I know you do a lot of freelance work as well, Selena. Do you have
Sure.
any advice for anyone who has that predicament?
I think what I would say is like you have to like kind of strike a balance, because I've been in the position where I've been fully freelance and just like picking up loads of work consistently, like being absolutely knackered because you're just picking up everything that you can, and then you'll shit yourself basically because there'll be like months of like there's nothing, there's no work, and it's like, you know, the pendulum swings really drastically from one side to another. I think if you can find something semi flexible that maybe is like part time, that brings you in a steady enough stream of money, and then do the freelance stuff that you want to do around that, that's probably a good balance. That's kind of the balance I'm trying to strike right now. Easier said than done. um but I guess everyone is different and everyone works in different ways. I just know that I, you know, maybe would go 100% freelance again. But it, it yeah, it teetered me on the edge like of a like full on burnout like mode. Like I feel like I'm still kind of coming back from like the exhaustion of that.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think kind of trying to strike that balance is what I find helpful. But everyone's different.
Everyone's so
and everyone has
different.
different opportunities and different um state, like various security, like financially. You know,
Yeah.
it's my dream to be reincarnated as a rich white man, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Oh, what a life that
Yeah.
would be. When you just wouldn't have to worry about this stuff.
Yeah.
But that is just not the reality for most people. But there is so much talent in Manchester, and there's so much talent in so many people I know. They have so much to give, and they're so amazing. But it's difficult, you know. I speak to people all the time, and they're having that challenge of like, ugh, like I really love doing this, and they're bringing so much joy with the shows that they're doing, but
Mm-hmm.
it's so hard to make ends meet from that they're finding lots of different other things to try and support themselves. It seems to be quite a norm for a lot of
Yeah.
people. But you know, we just need to support our artist friends, you know, where we can, like, and just talk to each other, I think, and just
Sure.
create a good community where people can really like express how they're feeling and vent their frustrations.
And I think if you can, I mean, like, I'm quite bad at this because I just, when I'm on Instagram, I'm basically just on Instagram Reels and not seeing any of my friends' posts. But every now and then I'll be like, oh my gosh, I need to like go on my actual home feed and like people that are promoting stuff or talking about their work, give them a like or a share or a comment, you know, something to like keep the engagement up, because it's so soul destroying when you're trying to like promote something, or, you know, you've done an acting job and you're trying to promote whatever it is, a short film or a play that you've got coming up
Yeah.
or whatever it is. It's so soul destroying to like do a post and then it's like 2 likes and your mum commented on it or something, like, you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
if we can all just support each other, like,
I know, and I do think the Manchester community is very supportive.
it
But
is.
I think, yeah, absolutely, whatever we can do to lift each other up and
Sure. Yeah.
share each other's work, and because it deserves to be seen, it
Yeah.
deserves to have a good audience. Because there are so many talented people in this community who
And
have
if
so
you
much to
have
give.
the financial means to, please book tickets in advance for a play or a cabaret or whatever it is that you want to go see. Please do try and book tickets in advance, because a lot of shows end up getting cancelled because they haven't had enough advance tickets, because they don't think they're going to make enough money to be able to pay everyone or make their money back or whatever it is. So they end up getting cancelled when people actually, you know, the audience would have been there. They were just going to buy tickets the night before. But that's
Yeah.
not always, that doesn't work for the producer a lot of the time. And, you know, sometimes you're not in a financial position to do that. But I think if you are, it's a really good thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well with your Ember and the Vixen shows, you put so much work into being able to make sure that everyone else has their moment, and you can platform people and like other artists who have their own, you know,
Of course.
unique talent.
I'm just a fangirl, you know. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with everyone. Like, I'm like always like at the side of the stage screaming for all the other artists. Like, I love it. I absolutely love watching the other performers.
Yeah. And I just think when you are doing that, and what you're doing is such a good thing to put on these cabarets and give give that platform to so many different artists.
Mm-hmm.
But it, like you say, it can be difficult when you're also having to produce the whole thing and manage it all, that make sure that nothing goes wrong, and that everyone, you can pay everybody, which I know you've spoken to me about before. It's not an
Sure.
easy
Yeah.
as an audience member, you can sit there and enjoy it and be like, this was so great, but the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes to make
Yeah.
that happen, you work very hard to put these shows on.
Sure. And it can be really stressful with the like when like, you know, when I got funding last year, that was amazing. It kind of took the pressure off getting the ticket sales in order to pay everyone. In a way, you still want, you know, people to be there, you want a good audience, but it's less stress then, because when you're paying everyone like from the ticket sales basically, or like the ticket sales maybe from the previous show pay for the performers in the next show, and it kind of works that way. It is just really stressful to like do the marketing and advertising and communications and stuff to make sure you can pay everyone and it's not coming out of your own wallet basically, because that is what would happen if if you don't get the audience size in that you need to be able to pay everyone, you'll just end up dipping into your own money, which is not ideal. Which is what I meant when I said, a lot of producers will cancel shows if people haven't booked tickets in advance because they don't want that financial burden, which is fair enough. But it has happened to me, quite a few times actually, where I've been like panicking, like, oh, no one's gonna come to the show, and am I gonna like end up having to pay everyone out my own money, and then like it'll like sell out like on the night or the night before and stuff. So I do get it. Like some people that I've been that person before, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to afford it until the last minute. So I do completely get it. But yeah, I think if you are able to, please book in advance.
Yeah. Do you have any advice or general thoughts around anything that we've talked about with your like creating your own work, producing burlesque? Actually, no, before we get into that,
Yeah, okay.
I realise I haven't asked you enough about your burlesque performances
Okay.
because I realised earlier you mentioned about how you had done dance and
Right.
acting,
Yeah.
and you really wanted to be able to do both, and I feel like you ended up doing that because you actually incorporated.
That is true, yeah. Burlesque is kind of a fusion of the two with striptease in it as well. It's very theatrical. Yeah, I love, and it's kind of storytelling as well. The way that I do it anyway, my like style of burlesque is quite storytelling. I like to like create a character and then try and tell their story as a combination through spoken word, and then usually leads into a burlesque routine. Um, so yeah, like my main act is Lilith, who is like the biblical tale of Lilith. She was Adam's first wife, and she got cast out of the Garden of Eden, and she became a demon. And so I've done a twist on that where she becomes the snake to tempt Eve with the forbidden fruit, but actually they're lovers. Like she is in love with Eve, and that's yeah, the apples are on my tits. Classic times. um,
Honestly, going to see one of Ember and the Vixens cabaret shows, Selina's so incredible like, as a performer, and all of your artists that you have on it, I think every burlesque performer has their own style.
Yeah.
And they're all super talented. And I feel like I've definitely noticed from your routines you do, and I think that it's been touched on as well when Jas has been introducing your routines and your kind of thought process behind them. You like to tap into that emotional storytelling
Yeah.
that goes on so that you can really feel and empathize. Like it feels like you become very vulnerable on
Sure.
stage, like when you're it it feels like uh, it's so empowering
Sure. Yeah.
through that vulnerability.
Yeah. Well, it is very vulnerable because you're taking your clothes off in front of an
Yeah.
audience and you're letting them see like a lot of sides of you, like emotionally and like physically. You're very naked by the end of it. But there are times when I've been on stage doing burlesque and I've never felt more powerful. So it's like a beautiful combination of the two, vulnerability and power in a taking back control kind of way, and like loving your body and just being who you are, loving yourself. I guess it did help me a lot in like a kind of whimsical self-love healing journey, but it really did, like doing burlesque really helped me like mentally.
When did you first start doing burlesque? Like when did you first decide that you wanted to learn more about that?
I went to one of Lily Von Ice's burlesque classes at Siren Asylum in 2019. After I'd finished drama school, I was feeling quite disconnected from my body. And I'd heard a bit about burlesque, and I thought like maybe if I do this kind of sensual stripteasey dance, I'll like reconnect with my body. And I just fell in love. I became obsessed with it. I loved, like, I've done quite a lot of classes under different burlesque performers as well, like Lily Von Ice, like I mentioned. I've done some one-to-ones with Sherry BB and Lady Wildflower and Gina Sterling and Cleopantha, who you mentioned at the start of the episode as well. And they all have their own unique style, and I think that's like kind of the beauty in burlesque. Like you can watch loads of different burlesque performers and they'll always bring something of their own to it. Like no two burlesque performers are the same.
Yeah.
Um, because it isn't a one size fits all kind of art. like, of course not, because art is so subjective in every way, and burlesque, like, you can kind of just make it your own. You can just be so unique with it.
Yeah, it's so expressive, and you can definitely see that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, it's a creative and unique form of expression
Mm-hmm.
for each and every individual performer. And it's just such an art form as well. I think it should be appreciated that, people are really, they're so skilled with what they do, like choreographing these routines
Mm-hmm.
and then creating this connection with the audience as well, because I feel like every burlesque performer that's come out in any of the cabaret shows that I've seen, I feel that they've always had a way of hypnotizing the audience and feeling, that the audience are immersed in the performance, as there's a lot of audience interaction.
Yeah.
There's a lot of engagement.
I mean, that's what I love about cabaret generally, like how immersed you feel in it. It's such a like an escape from life. It's such like it feels like a fantasy. You're in like another world, and I just love that. I think it's beautiful to have that kind of I don't know, fall through a portal into like a parallel universe for an evening and just be in a universe full of sparkle and boas and beautiful costumes and yeah.
It does definitely feel like that. For anyone listening, if you have an opportunity, well, which you do, have an opportunity to go and see an Ember and the Vixens cabaret show, I would highly recommend, because it is just absolute celebration of talent, of the variety of talent, and you can only really experience that and understand what that's like if you're in the room and feeling the energy in the room. But I'm really excited for your charity cabaret, and I'm really happy that Independent Choices is your chosen charity to raise funds for. And I think it's going to be a really great night, and definitely, as we say, all ticket proceeds will go to the charity. I'll be dropping a link to the cabaret show in our bio, as well as kind of any other shows that I've mentioned. And also, as always, if anyone has any shows they'd like me to give a shout out to, please just send them in. You can email them in, or you can send us a voice note at mitpoddy@gmail.com. But yeah, this podcast is about sharing people's work, and anyone who wants to come and speak about their work, we would love to have you. But we are sadly coming to the end of the episode, which is a shame because I am loving speaking to you, Selina. But I think as we wrap up, it would just be great to have any final thoughts or advice that you may have for anyone listening, whether that's in producing a show, a cabaret show, if they want to pursue burlesque, if they want to be an actor, they want to go to drama school. I mean, you've done pretty much everything, so you can give any advice, I think, to anyone listening that you think is the most important thing as an artist.
I think the most important thing is prioritize your mental health. There is no job, there is no like even a creative job that is worth sacrificing your mental health for. I think don't try and copy anyone else's style. Don't try and be someone else as a performer. Just be who you are, because that will be the best like creator that you can be, is just to be who you are. And we don't need any more of anyone else. We need who you are. We need your unique style in the industry. I think there's been a lot in the past of carbon copies of other people, and that's not what the world needs. That's not what the world of art needs. So yeah, be authentic, be passionate, but always prioritize your own mind.
That's so great. I love that. Absolutely love that. That's such wonderful advice. Absolutely embrace your uniqueness, and embrace everything that you have to give, because you are special, and bringing yourself is the best thing that you can do in the creative world. So I'm just going to give a quick recap of our What's On in Manchester. So just to give a shout out to the shows that I mentioned at the start of the episode, Ferocious Cabaret, presented by the House of Panther, will be on at Home on the 27th of August. And this is going to be a pre-Pride celebration showcasing the incredible talent of Manchester's queer cabaret scene, featuring acclaimed industry professionals and special guest performers. So this promises to be a really exciting night. And so yeah, if you can get yourself along to that, definitely do. You'll be able to grab tickets on the home website, and that is on the 27th of August. And then the next show I wanted to give a shout out to is Bad Habits by No More Dramas Productions, written by Stu Mevins and directed by Del Vicker and Stu Mevins, which is on until the 9th of August at the King's Arms. So I believe that the opening night is tonight. So for this show, audiences are transported to St. Magdalene's, a convent where the communal wine is Waitrose essentials, choir rehearsals are TikTok boot camps, and the Mother Superior has a direct line to the local gin distillery. Bad Habits is a high-octane, unapologetically zany farce exploring the collision between ancient tradition and modern corporate greed, and a fierce celebration, most importantly, of chosen family, whether they're dodging internet scams, choreographing, contouring for Christ workshops, or a Charlie's Angels style resistance. These women are proving that faith isn't found in a dusty book, it's found in the sisters standing next to you. So that is Bad Habits by No More Dramas Productions, and that is on from the 31st of July to the 9th of August at the King's Arms. Also, thank you so much to everyone listening to the Manchester Indie Theatre podcast. If you would like to be a guest on the podcast, drop us an email to mitpoddy@gmail.com. That's mitpoddy@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram if you don't already at mit_pod. That's MIT_pod. You don't have to be a guest. If you prefer for myself and Caroline to share details about your upcoming show, we can. You can write in or you can send us a voice note. And also if you have an opportunity or a call out that you'd like us to share or any questions and thoughts you'd like us to address, please send them in. It's been such a pleasure having you on the episode, Selina.
Oh, it's been a pleasure to be here, my love.
So thank you so much, and best of luck with the cabaret. I'm really, really excited.
Me too.
And for everything.
Can't wait for your Vixen debut.
Ooh, I'm gonna be a vixen, guys. But yeah, I'm honoured. Thank you to all of our lovely listeners, and that's all from us this time. I'll see you again for the next episode very soon. Bye.